Hello, everyone. I wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about my experience seeing Michelle Obama speak last Friday in Montreal. And I wanted to hop on here because pretty much anyone that knows that I went to actually go see her has been asking me how it was, what were my takeaways. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do a video on it. I'm going to tell all of you well, for me, the biggest takeaway that I got from seeing Michelle Obama speak, because for me, it was a really big, like, light bulb moment. And I frantically pulled out my phone and I wrote down a note right away. And it's something that I really want to share with you because I find that what I got out of her talk is not something that only applies to me. It's definitely something that can apply to anyone. And to give you some backstory, Michelle Obama's talk is, it's a tour, and it's a lot of it is talking about her book, which is called Becoming. And to set the stage, they talk about why her book is called Becoming Michelle Obama, and not just because it's a biography or an autobiography of her life and giving you the backstory on who it is that made her who she is today, but the concept of becoming that she said, as well as the woman that was, facilitating the conversation with her, is it's the idea that she's never finished becoming whoever it is that she's going to become. Every single moment, every experience we have shapes and changes us in various ways. And therefore, there's never a point in time where we truly become who it is that we're supposed to be. It's always this beautiful, ever evolving becoming. And this is really important for my mind blowing thing. And to be honest, my biggest takeaway that I got from Michelle Obama wasn't even like words that came out of her mouth. It was just the ambiance and the experience. And I think that this is why it's really important for people as well to actually go to events and go to conferences, because sometimes the speakers tell you things that blow your mind, and sometimes it's just being in a certain environment allows you to shift your perspective and see something differently. And that's exactly what happened to me when I was sitting in the Bell Center. I think 22,000 people can go in that arena. There wasn't 22,000 because of the way the stage was set, but I promise you that there was not one empty seat. Like, every seat that could have been sold was sold. That's how much people wanted to hear what Michelle Obama had to say. And I was looking down on the stage and I was thinking, like, how awesome. Also super scary, because public speaking is scary, but how awesome would that be to be able to have a sold out sports arena full of people who are ready and willing and excited to hear what it is that you have to say. And I remember thinking to myself, that would just be so cool. I would love for that to be an experience that I get one day. And then I was thinking about the whole, the intro they did into Michelle Obama with the whole becoming. And I remember looking out over the stadium and looking at all of the seats, thinking about every single individual person who was there ready to hear what she had to say. And that's when I had this light bulb moment where I realized, in order to impact that many people, I don't need to be Michelle Obama. I don't need to have written a best-selling book. I don't need to have, been the first lady. And Michelle Obama in and of herself has an extensively amazing career, and she has so many achievements outside of just being the wife of the president, and that's part of her book. But I remember just looking at all of those things and kind of saying to myself, I don't have to wait to have somebody else or the world tell me that my message is good enough for me to feel that I can share it. And my light bulb moment for me that I really wanted to share with you, and this is the actual note that I wrote down, is that if you feel you have a message to share, there are so many avenues to share it. You don't need someone else's permission. You don't need to have someone say, I'd love for you to be a speaker at my conference. You don't need to have someone say, hey, I'd love for you to come do a guest video, in my group. You don't need someone to say, I would love to publish a book for you. I think you have a great story that you should share with people. You are allowed to anoint yourself. You are allowed to say, I have a message and I want to share it with others. And that in and of itself is good enough. And I remember looking out at all of the seats thinking again, how cool would it be to be able to have access to this many people? And then I thought, that's what the online world is about, right? Some of my videos have 5,000 views. And obviously some of those views, like they're not full people watching them. And sometimes it's the same people watching it over and over. But what I realized is I get like 5,000 views on a video. So that's the same as just having 5,000 people sitting in an arena watching me talk. And what it kind of made me realize is that so many of us wait for other people to tell us that we're good enough before we take action on whatever dream it is that we have. And so for me, public speaking is a really big thing that I'm getting into. I'm doing much more like actual on stage speaking, and I'd like to promote my speaking a lot more in my business. And I'd love to actually become a professional paid speaker on top of all of the coaching and other stuff that I do. And sometimes I can get stuck in this cycle of really waiting for other people to say, hey, Lana, I would love for you to come speak on stage and share your message with people. And the idea is I don't need someone to do that. I can just do more Facebook Lives. I can start a YouTube channel. I have a podcast. I have all of these ways where I'm able to use my voice and share my message. And I don't need someone else's permission to tell me that I'm good enough. And I think that this is important too. And it runs through the theme of also what Michelle Obama was actually talking about, because the idea is Michelle Obama is just your like average woman. She grew up in an impoverished neighborhood to working class parents. She wasn't raised an extremely privileged person. She just worked really hard. She had goals and things that she believed in, and she stayed the path. And so taking that same type of concept and applying it into your own life is you don't need to wait for other people to tell you that you're good enough to do the thing that it is that you want to do. You're allowed to give yourself permission and go out there and share your message with people. Even if it's just like one person who is watching you speak, that's still one person. I think there's like a thing going around right now about, think of Tony Robbins even, and how many people pay tens of thousands of dollars to see him speak. And the first time that Tony Robbins ever spoke, it was like a room that could fit 500 people, and there was only 7 people in that room. So even Tony Robbins, when he first started, only had 7 people in the room. But because he wasn't waiting for somebody else to tell him he was good enough, he just kept showing up over and over and over again and finding more and more ways to share his message. And now he is where he is. It's the same thing with Michelle Obama. And that's really the thing that I want you guys to take away is if you feel that you have a message, if you feel that you have something that it is that you want to share with people, but the reason why you're not doing it is because you're not quite sure it's refined enough, or you're not sure if anyone wants to listen, or you're waiting for other people to say, yeah, like come on my stage and speak, or yeah, come, do a video with me, or come do a podcast with me. Stop waiting for other people to give you permission and give yourself permission. There are so many avenues for you out there to be able to share your message. And if you don't believe in your message enough to get up and share it with people when you're not sure that other people are going to listen to you, then how confident are you in your message to begin with? The idea is that if you feel like deep in your heart of hearts and whatever it is that you have something that you can offer this world, stop waiting for somebody else to tell you that you're good enough before you offer it. Just start offering it. Just start telling people about it. Just start putting yourself out there, because what will happen is over time you will build momentum, you will gain traction, and you'll start to get those opportunities that you desire. But don't wait for those opportunities to manifest before you can actually get out there and share your message. Because I can promise you that if Michelle Obama had waited for somebody to tell her that she was good enough, she wouldn't have been at that sold out Bellplex Arena on Friday night sharing her message. And you can bet that she wouldn't be, have done all of the super cool things that she's done in her life if she waited for somebody else to tell her that she was good enough. She told herself that she was good enough, and she went out there and made it happen for herself. And that's exactly what you can do as well. So I hope that you were inspired by this video and that it helped you. And as always, keep kicking ass, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.